What's up, everybody? I'm John Maher, and it looks like Will Cohen, but it is my boy Jay Wynn. He is here. Uh, this is episode 56 of Versus. Jay Wynn, how you doing today?
You know, uh, overall, I'm doing pretty good. I felt like I needed to come onto your show and set the record straight about a couple things here because I heard that you've been covering a franchise I'm involved in, and I'm here to set the record straight, answer any questions you might have about this cinematic masterpiece of a trilogy.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into my questions in a little bit, but what we're talking about today is it's the third in the franchise. Maybe more to come. I don't know. But right now we are on Lake Fear 3. Some markets, Lake Fear 3, Origin of Evil. Weird that they would go there. That's a different movie. But Lake Fear 3.
I've been doing this for quite some time. It all started when I got sucked into their world. I got tired of fighting. Now they're following me.
You see, cinematic gold right there, man. I don't know what everyone's problem is.
Yeah, let's start with the burning question. Why was Lake Fear 2 a movie? Why wasn't this like this seems like Lake Fear 2?
Okay,
Yeah.
if you want to know, you want to know the behind the scenes drama. Here it is. There was actually a labor dispute, man. They didn't get me what I demanded, and so they called my bluff. I told them that you can't make a Lake Fear 2 without your boy Remy here. They called my bluff. They made some like weird thing that was like, that was like Deliverance, but somehow more rapey. Like, okay, fine. So so they saw that, they realized, okay, no, obviously we were right though. Obviously, Jay Wynn is right. We can't really do a good film without Jay Wynn. So, okay, they made my demands. What are my demands? I'm glad you asked. They got me a big old pile of blow and a candle that smelled like Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy. You know, that's all I wanted. They finally got that to me, and I showed up again. Bada bing, we made the movie.
IGN's cocaine budget must be huge because it seems like every time we cover a movie, it feels like cocaine is involved.
Oh
Is
no,
that
cocaine.
true?
I mean, you can't make a film like this without having cocaine on set. It's just not possible, man. I mean, it seems like you guys have been watching a lot of ITN films. By the way, you told me I look like that Will Cohen fuck that Zionist little prick. That guy doesn't know anything about movies at all.
I knew he was a Zionist. Thank you for clearing that up. That's something we've been debating for weeks. It's good to finally know that Will is a Zionist. You heard it here, folks. So basically, I guess we'll set the stage. So at the end of the first Lake Fear, we had a thing. It felt like an outtake, but it wasn't an outtake. It was a mid-credit scene where your character Remington, he hasn't dispatched all of the possessed girls in the cabin yet, but
Not yet.
he says "fuck you," and like that's the cliffhanger. This is the cliffhanger. It's "fuck you," and then Lake Fear 2 happens. We go from Evil Dead to Wrong Turn, and now Lake Fear 3, we're back right where Lake Fear 1 left off. Remington has left the cabin. He's back in society, but now we get the whole Evil Dead Rise thing, where like the possession is out in the world and it's going to get people. A great concept. Here's my first question. Why in the opening scene, how do you have the balls to rip off the Thing? How do you, whose call was it to do the exact scene from the Thing where the guy's doing CPR and his arms get bit off? Who made that call?
I mean, if you saw my balls, you would completely understand. There's tons of balls there. Second of all, you're saying a lot of words, John. We're all simple folks here, so we tried to make a simple movie for simple people. And well, they gave me some artistic license to do some character work. So somehow I came up with the idea of delivering all my lines like Vin Diesel would deliver lines like Luke Wilson would.
I got tired of fighting.
So that's why everything is like very slow, very gravelly, and somewhat non-coherent. But that was an actor choice, man. Also,
another question, just because I know you're obviously the star of Lake Fear, and you're the star of Lake Fear 3. Why did the writers, the Crumb brothers, why do you bother introducing female leads? And like you kind of give them a backstory, and the story is about them, only to kill them off like halfway through the movie. And then the second half of both movies is you. Why aren't you the star of the movie the whole way through both times?
I mean, look at me. I have a great physique, but you know what I am missing? I am missing tits. I am missing tits that people want to see. The Crumb brothers realize, hey, he don't got tits. So what do we gotta do? We gotta put attractive people in there, because sex sells, man. Obviously, we know sex sells. So we got some, we learned our lesson from the first film, though. We actually got classy broads this time.
But one of the girls is the same girl.
I mean, we were all high. We didn't realize that at the time.
Fair enough. Just for those of you who are following along at home, there were 4 girls in the first film. One of them is Jordan. She's like the one who's like from the religious family. And in this movie, there's characters Revel, who is Jordan's sister, and Chloe. And they're going through wherever the hell they are in Texas, looking for where Jordan disappeared. And apparently she's been looking for her sister in middle of nowhere, Texas for 2 years.
Sir, I'm trying to find my sister, who's been lost for 2 years. And you got the balls to just go and burn my flyers?
They're put to better use than them there shorts you got on.
And she's got flyers, and everyone's just treating her. You know, they haven't seen her. Obviously, she disappeared in the middle of the forest. Why would people in a town know anything about that? But I digress. And they try to enlist the help of Vincent. And Vincent's an interesting character because, like, can you walk me through whose idea it was to present that character, Vincent, as he is?
Today's episode on Ghost Day.
Don't tell me something's behind me.
So here's how we envisioned Vincent. We envisioned Vincent as the guy that was supposed to be the lens of the audience. This is supposed to be the audience lens. So this guy is supposed to be the guy who is essentially the audience avatar. He's supposed to be there witnessing all this shit. But we realized very early on with a couple things here. You're using a lot of weird words like rip off and scenes and characters. this is all these are all concepts we weren't really thinking about, to be honest with you, because half the times we were just completely coked out of our mind. We forgot that
I'll tell you what, though, because you set up Vincent, and the movie starts out like you think it's going to be one of these like Grave Encounters, Ganjiam Haunted Asylum,
of course.
Blair Witch Project type shit, where like you have Vincent, who is a paranormalist, who has a paranormalist TV show, and you figure, oh, this is just going to be like a fuck around and find out movie, but they kind of right early on just let you know that this guy is a fraud.
100%.
He's a fraud, and he's at a convention, but the convention is literally just a table at the top of a flight of stairs, and there's no other people at the convention and no other patrons at the convention. Another weird choice. Can you speak for the Crumb Brothers' thought process on trying to make the audience believe that that's a paranormalist convention?
In the same kind of way here, John, that that the guy who runs IT and distribution tries to, make people believe that he is competent at his job. Because clearly he is a fraud. We know that he is a fraud. And you've seen these films. We're trying to lead you down the path here. We are trying to tell everyone, hey, where Vincent is clearly a charlatan of epic proportion. The guy who runs epic, IT and distribution is also a charlatan of epic proportion, because he didn't get competent until until the Winnie the Pooh movies. Let's just face that fact. He didn't. That was just a luck of the draw that those films actually made money. So we're trying to tell people, hey, we know this is fraud. So here we're trying to unveil the curtain. And then it gives me a chance to be the bright shining hero again. So you got a twofer there, John. We got a twofer.
All right. So we're following Revel and Chloe, and they enlist, even though Vincent is a fraud, they enlist his help anyway. And he's fully revealed he's a fraud, but they enlist his help anyway. And as they're leaving to figure things out, your character shows up. And whenever your character shows up, that means it's time to kill the main character. They pull Janet Leigh in Psycho and kill Revel right there. Like, it's just like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Walk us through that choice.
Because that's when they decided to pay me, John.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I come in, all swaggered up, all fucking sexy like. And that's when I decided to get down to work, because they actually started paying me. That's when I got my Gwyneth Paltrow candle, man. That's when they decided to pay me. So
there's a scene in the movie where you're in the midst of fighting, because Revel turns into, like, whatever you want to call her, a ghoul, for lack of a better word. And there's a scene where you're just getting sprayed with like liquid. We don't know what the liquid is. It's not blood. It's clear. And your character just takes it. Like, you just keep getting sprayed in the face. And was that all one take, or did you do multiple takes? What's your method of being a man standing in a parking lot getting sprayed with clear liquid?
You see, my method is I track down that dumbass Chuck, and I slept with his wife. And so, what can I say? I know how to pleasure her, and so I just kept on getting sprayed in the face then, in preparation for what I was going to have to happen here, because viscous fluid is viscous fluid, man.
What were you supposed to be getting sprayed with? I'm unclear with that. What was it?
It's demon jizz. What do you think it was?
Oh, demon jizz. Okay, that should have been made more clear in the movie, I think.
I mean, it's like weird viscous fluid. You're right. It wasn't red. It was very clear, and I was just taking it like a man. It's demon jizz.
Demon jizz. Yeah. Okay. Then we kind of get like the whole Creepshow 2 sequence where you and Vincent and Chloe are now like in a car, I guess, escaping. You're not really escaping because you're going to the cabin, but then Revel just appears again, like the hitchhiker in Creepshow 2. and you have a very, very cool scene where you're driving the car and you take your shotgun, you point in the back seat, and you're like, suck on this, and you shoot her. Did you ad-lib that, or was that line written for you?
Hey, don't swallow.
There was a script for this?
Oh, okay. So ad-libbed. Got it. That's just a J-Win original.
Of course. Like the Krim brothers claim that they wrote stuff. No, dude, I just came on set and just swaggered my way through that because I'm J-Win, baby.
Then you guys get to the cabin, and I kind of lost the chain there. You kind of give some ground rules which weren't in the first movie. How like you can, if you make the demon bleed, you can bind them to objects in the house, I guess. Now, was that ad-libbed as well, or was that always the plot of the movie, that you can bind demons to inanimate objects?
Remember, you have to use blood to bind them to objects.
I mean, they kind of touch base of that in the first one in a very roundabout way, if you were paying attention.
I wasn't.
I mean, who was? Let's be
Yeah.
honest. But this was something that we thought would be kind of cool. And that way we like tied things back to like Evil Dead having like weird like red stretchy shit all over the place. Like, like a fucked up murder board. And someone was bleeding and we didn't have a first aid kit because, we spent it all on cocaine. And so we just thought, okay, well, let's just finger paint some shit and see what happens. And that's how we got it.
I noticed also, and this is my last question for you because I know your time is precious. I noticed that you chose to end this movie on a cliffhanger as well. Like no side has won. There's still demons out and about. They're in the midst of fighting. Some people are in various stages of incapacitation, but Remington is still ready to fight. And Vincent's agent calls in what has to be a nod to the Winchester brothers from Supernatural, and the movie just ends. What is a Lake Fear 4 coming?
Monsters or something? So I'm reaching out.
I mean, it's in the works, but again, there's a pay dispute. There's the guys are not giving me what I demand. What I demand is very simple. There is a Marissa Tomei candle out there. I want that candle. We all want that candle. I ask for 2 candles and I'll show back up and we can make this fucker happen. And it's an epic conclusion. I've seen the script. It's written in crayon and blood, but I've seen the script and it's fucking beautiful.
All right, well, let's keep the audience in suspense. I think we've said enough about it. I'm going to pull up our old ratings video, and then maybe our other buddy will show up. Okay. So, Will, you missed a great interview with Joshua Lynch. He was pleasant.
What?
Yeah, he was here.
Hold on. What's this shit about me being a Zionist? What the fuck?
I mean, we were asking for weeks, and he gave us a straight answer. So I don't know. He appears to know. I don't know. Is it not true?
Dude, what the fuck? Okay. You go to one meeting and all of a sudden you remember. God damn it, all the hell.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to your rabbi. Anyway, you know what? I'll go first. This movie blows, but there are moments where I'm like, oh, that's a decent practical effect for like a shit movie. Like there's a scene where there's clearly like a hand puppet, and it's like they're ripping off the thing. Like John Carpenter isn't dead, but if he was dead, he'd be rolling in his grave. So the fact that you have the balls to go after John Carpenter like that, I got to give you one whole videotape out of 5, just for the balls in that scene. Well,
normally I respect balls. I do. But it's very clear that they not only ran out of money at some point, but they ran out of enough competence to finish a script. or at least flesh out a script. There's just huge sections of this movie where someone will say something and it takes them nearly a minute to respond. There's unnecessary
79-minute movie, by the way. 79 minutes.
Yeah, the movie is 79 minutes, and somehow they only had 30 minutes of material. This movie was a waste of everyone's time. And it's really bad when I am refusing to wear a fucking blazer for this shit. No. This movie gets a half star, but 2 middle fingers.
Fantastic. I have good news for you, though, Will.
We don't have to do this shit anymore?
No, it's not that good. As we go through the ITN catalog, do you know what the next movie in chronological order would be? The original Tooth Fairy movie was next. But we've watched that one already. We've already seen all 5 Tooth Fairy movies. So that is the next movie on our agenda coming up next. As I look through here, it's called Animal Among Us. And hey, I'm excited for Animal Among Us. We're going into the year 2019, so we'll be covering Animal Among Us next week.
I can't wait till it's a Bill Cunningham rip off of Bill Cunningham's Great the Wolf Among Us. Can't wait for that shit.
That being said, if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. You can check out the Letterboxd challenge right here. That's a way to have fun. Definitely watch better movies than we're watching here on Versus. Schedule here is slightly changed. Now we're leading off the week. The week starts on Monday. You're watching Versus. This is every Monday we do it. Why Liv Loves Horror, my daughter's show, airs on Tuesday nights now. I don't know what she's going to be watching tomorrow, but I guarantee she will do a great job. Wednesday, Aaron Unwinds. You'll see Aaron cover more Evil Bong movies. Thursday, not even Thursday. Why We Love Horror could happen any day, and it could happen more than once. So it's not necessarily Thursday. But Friday is still Why We Love Horror Trivia. 2 episodes. We're getting the number 1 contenders match this Friday. Dylan and Shannon going out to see who's going to have the right to play Abby or whoever is champion, because there may be another surprise coming in the road. Someone may be cashing in their title shot. But that's about it. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week on Versus. I'm John. That's Will.